Hello and welcome. I came upstairs today to make a Father's Day card for my husband. Let me go ahead and show it to you. And after I did it, I thought, you know what? Why didn't I film the process? Because I did something different. I actually used my watercolor pencils and one of our water painters. So I'm popping back on. I'm going to do another one just to show you how I did this iris. So let's backtrack just a moment. Over on our Facebook page, I had posted a picture of these stamps. These stamps are from Stampin' Up, but they are from the year 2000. How did I acquire them? Well, my son and my daughter-in-law, who have become avid antiquers themselves, following in my husband's footsteps, they found these at an antique mall and they picked them up for me and they gave them to me for a birthday / Mother's Day present. Well, today was my first time using the stamps, and I used the iris one because my husband grows irises, and I want to show you what I did with this. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to say is that, yes, these are Stampin' Up products, but they have come a long way in the quality, my opinion only, of the rubber stamps since the year 2000. Things have definitely improved with time. So what I'm doing is I'm using the Memento ink. See, it doesn't really seem, there might be a trick to the trade that I'm not aware of. I don't even think I was using Stampin' Up or had even heard of Stampin' Up in the year 2000. Probably not. The kids were very young at that time. Anyhow, it is getting there. So, okay, so we are getting some ink on it. So my first impressions are that I don't want to say anything negative, so instead I'll say they've come a long way. I think the stamps now, I like them much more. But this did turn out really, really good in my opinion. So let me apply some pressure. And I do worry because this desk is not a firm surface. It's one of those plastic tables. So I'm going to slide this off, keeping it together. And I'll show you what I'm doing. Hold on. And then I'm just kind of really using my hand to make sure I get that image on there. Because again, it's my desk. My table at Bose. Okay, so that's pretty good. That came out all right. And giving this Memento ink a chance to dry. Let me get my scrubber. I don't think the daughter's watching these videos too much anymore because she has yet to comment on this. First time I tried putting this in a video, she's like, "Mother, no. Nobody wants to see that dirty stamp cleaner. Just, clean it off camera," which I did for a long time. So I really don't think she's watching because she's never said anything. All right, the next thing I did was I thought, okay, I have some of our watercolor pencils. And am I going to do the same one that I did for him? Yeah, I think I will just because it's easier. And I started just coloring this portion of the iris, nice bright yellow color. And I thought, oh, that's pretty. And then I was like, I think what I want to do next is this purple color. Yeah, I'll do that purple color. Reddish purple, whatever. And I started putting the color down just where I thought the dark parts should go in highlights. And then to be honest, I started trying to fill it in, and I didn't like the way it was looking. And I thought, you know what, Teresa, you did buy those brushes, the water painter brushes, excuse me. Let me go ahead and put that down. And I took the smallest one, and it's filled with water, and I just kind of started getting that water going right on my hand. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. But then I thought, let's see what happens. And lo and behold, look what it does. Thus, the watercolor pencils. It just grabs that color and it starts to distribute it for me. And I feel like it saves some steps. Now this is just basic cardstock paper. Now this is cardstock paper that I purchased from the local office supply store. Turkey, right? Yes, I did. Because I don't always, sometimes I'm just, experimenting and stuff. So I find it's cheaper to experiment with that cardstock than some of the other cardstocks. So, and then I'm like, okay, let's just pop some right here where all the highlights are on that they've done, the creators of the stamps. So just, again, in my random way, just applying a little bit of color here and here. And this is just bringing me back. So back in 92, so back in 1992, I was able to convince my mom to take some watercolor classes with me. I am a wannabe artist. I'm going to say that again. Listen to what I said, want to be. I am not an artist. I don't have that gift, but I do like to play around when I can with drawing, and you know, that's why I like the Stampin' Up, because I can just pull out my stamping blends and do some of this too. I can get some artistic stuff done. Isn't that pretty? And you can add even more if you want. Then I got a little bit different. I was like, oh, pop a color. Let's get this blue. So this is Night of Navy. This is Rich Razzleberry, if you care. And I was like, he is gonna say, Teresa, these do not even look like any of real irises. And I'm gonna be like, you're right. Anyhow, enjoy it, whatever. So I don't have to be too precise, because that water blender pen thing, brush, is gonna do all of that for me. So let me go back to my story. So I did convince my mom to take some watercolor classes with me at a local art supply store. And we did it several times, and she has since, you know, she passed away. We lost her a couple years back. But I have the work that she did. I did keep her paintings. She, of course, didn't like the work she did. See, and I'm not even being particular, because this stuff is going to blend. Isn't this fabulous? But anyhow, so I did keep it. So if you can, if there's an area, if you want to start doing something and you have maybe a craft store in your area, do it. Who cares? We don't have to be Rembrandts, Picassos, or, you know, any Monet here. If you enjoy it and it's something that brings you, you know, pleasure, do it. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna pick up a little water, still have a little dab on my hand. I don't want to put too much, because again, this is not watercolor paper. Although I do have a tablet of watercolor paper, because I did plan on making my daughter-in-law show me how to do some of this and get her to experiment with our pencils and our inks and our brushes. But she just hasn't had the time to come down. You know, kids, they grow up, they get these jobs, they get so busy, you don't see them as much as you'd like. But anyhow, one day, hopefully she will. So this does look a little bit different from my original one, but that, again, that's the beauty. Everyone's a little different. Everyone will come out differently. So now I've got Old Olive, and I know I used the Granny Apple Green. With the Old Olive, I'm just gonna put some nice dark pressure where I think it should be in the shadows, because I do know that much, that the colors that are in the shadows, like down at the base and maybe around and under these, they're gonna appear darker. So I'm just going to put some color down, and this would be in the shadow of that leaf, popping behind here, maybe some there, and just a little bit more, just spread it out. And then I'm gonna take this Granny Apple Green, which is a nice pop of color. It's a much brighter color. I like it. Make sure I put some up at the top of the leaves, down here at the stems, because it's gonna be the newer stuff. Nice brightness here on the stem to the flower. There, so I have all my leaves. I've got that color put down. Now I'm just going to bring back my brush, and let's just pop this down. Yeah, they're looking rough. It's just we've been so busy. You know, it's summertime. It's time to get some yard things done, and so these hands need a good manicure. But anyhow, that's not going to stop me from getting on here and showing you some of the stuff I've been playing with. Now, there's tons of videos and everything out there, and there are probably more experienced people doing this, but I just thought this was so much fun. I was like, ooh, look, it's blending and shading for me. So look at what this turned into. Isn't that pretty? I think it's pretty. I'm tempted to sign my name, but I'm not going to, because the stamp's not mine. Anyway, so this is the one we did together, and now let me show you the card I made for him. Isn't that pretty? And you're like, Teresa, why did you do a Father's Day card for your husband, and why are you thanking him? Well, let's backtrack this story. before we get into that, this is Old Olive. This cardstock is the Old Olive. It's from the Regals collection. Then I had a frame, one of these frame things that I used to punch out the Night of Navy. That's from the Neutrals collection to put it in a nice frame. We just went through how I colored the iris. See, it's pretty similar. The Thanks a Bunch is from our Celebrate Sunflowers. And the reason I'm saying thank you, and I'm not going to let you read the inside, is quite honestly, he's not my father, but he is the father of my children, and I want to thank him for that. You know, he was willing to go down that journey when we were discussing whether or not we were having kids, and he was like, sure. So he was on board. We had children, and honestly, those kids have been the greatest blessing in my life. So I just wanted to say thank you to him. And no, we're posting this after Father's Day because he's the one who does the postings up to Facebook for me, so he'll see it. Anyhow, I wanted to show you what I did, show you, pulling this into the picture in case you get curious about what was done, just in case you want to take a photo, and just my way of thanking my children for thinking of me when they're out doing their antiquing, and thanking my husband for being such a great father to my kids and for making me a mom. And that's it. There you go. So until next time, guys, happy stamping.